Okay, real talk. If you've been researching Charlotte neighborhoods, you've probably seen the same five pop up over and over and over. Dilworth, South Park, Ballantyne, Plaza Midwood, Noda. And look, those are great, and I love those neighborhoods, but here's the thing. Charlotte has dozens of smaller, quieter, tucked away communities that locals absolutely love, that almost nobody moving here knows about or knows to ask about. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about one specific neighborhood, one that's just 5 miles from Uptown Charlotte, where you can still find a home for under $500,000 with a STEM magnet school on the doorstep and the light rail coming in the next decade. Most people relocating to Charlotte have never even heard the name. So stay with me because we're going deep today. We're covering 8 hidden gem neighborhoods across the city, their vibe, their houses, price ranges, schools, and exactly how long your commute is going to be. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Kayla Lindsay, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert and the upstate of South Carolina. This channel is all about helping you find your perfect home here in the Queen City. If this video is helpful, go ahead, hit that subscribe button because we drop new content every single week, covering everything you need to know about relocating to the Charlotte area. Neighborhoods, schools, market stats, you name it. In addition to that, every single day, people just like you reach out to me regarding their move to Charlotte. Calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites, you name it. So if that's you, drop down into the description below. All of my contact information is there, whether you're making the move in 9 days or 90 days, moving across the world, across the country, or just across town. I'm here to help you make your move everything you want it to be. Okay, so today's video is one I've been wanting to make for a really long time because honestly, the conversation around Charlotte's neighborhoods gets a little bit repetitive. Have you noticed that? I'm sure you've been Googling. So today we're gonna go off the beaten path. We're talking about neighborhoods that don't make the headline. They don't make the listicles. The ones your neighbors have lived in for decades. The streets have names and beautiful trees and shade, and you can still get a great home without blowing your entire budget inside of Charlotte. The first neighborhood on our list is Belmont. And I want to be clear, I'm not talking about the town or city of Belmont, which sits in Gaston County right off the Catawba River. I'm talking about Belmont, the Charlotte neighborhood. Zip code 28205. Now, this is one of those places that feels like it exists in a different era in the best way possible. It was originally built as a mill village in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Workers in the Lewis Cotton Mill lived here, and when the mill shut down in the late 1950s, the neighborhood went through a really long transition and today is experiencing quite a bit of genuine renaissance. Now, walking through Belmont, you're going to find craftsman style bungalows with wide front porches, one of my favorites, brick exteriors, really mature trees arched over the street like absolute canopies. And then right next to them, sleek modern townhomes and infill construction that adds a new energy and edge without destroying the character. That's one of the unique presences of this particular neighborhood. Now let's talk a little bit about the real estate. The median home price is approximately $650,000. That's 11% up year over year. Now, price range wise, you could get a fixer-upper bungalow for $400,000 up to $1 million for some of the new builds. And if you want something that's nice and fancy and already been redone, you're probably looking at a $900,000 to $1 million property. Now, home ages, these are about the 1900s originals to brand new into the 2020s. So we've got new construction and older homes. Now, I'll be honest, Belmont isn't the cheapest neighborhood on this list. Prices have moved significantly as more people have discovered it. But what you're buying is proximity to Uptown, historic character, walkability, community that you just can't replicate in some of the suburbs. You're also right on the Little Sugar Creek Greenway, which runs right through the area. So if you're a runner, a cyclist, someone who just loves to walk, go to coffee shops on Sunday mornings, Belmont delivers. Now, when it comes to commutes and schools, the distance to Uptown is about 2 miles. You're literally right there. What this means is the Uptown commute is literally 5 to 15 minutes, depending upon traffic. You could probably walk it just as fast. Now, the commute to South Park is about 15, maybe 20 minutes, depending upon traffic. If you're working in the Ballantyne area, however, you're probably looking at about 35 to 40 minutes driving via I-277 into I-45. Now for schools, Belmont falls under the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. There are private options nearby, and the neighborhood's proximity to Plaza Midwood means you do have actually a lot of school choice access. All right, so neighborhood number 2 is Wesley Heights. And this one seriously is underrated. Wesley Heights sits just to the west of Uptown. We're talking a mile and a half. 2 miles from the city center. So if you can see the Uptown skyline from your front porch, that's Wesley Heights, and it is amazing energy. This neighborhood was built in the 1920s, and it shows in all the right ways. You've got craftsman bungalows, 4 square homes, and cottage-style houses with the kind of architectural character that new construction, you just can't beat it. You can't fake it. They don't make them like they used to. But in recent years, developers have started doing a lot of infill, new construction homes, and a lot of townhomes. Now, these blend into the cityscape and have a lot of rooftop terraces overlooking the city. They're gorgeous. But the bones of Wesley Heights are still very much original. Now, the demographic here is young professionals, remote workers, uptown commuters, and plenty of families. It has a genuine urban adjacent feel without the price tag of Dilworth and Elizabeth. Now, a lot of college grads actually make up 80% of the residents. It's super smart, civically minded community. I really love it, and I've had many clients who have moved into this area. And from a real estate perspective and appreciation, your median home price as of early 2026 was about $240,000. Price range is about $260,000 to $900,000 plus. I know that's a really wide range, but at $260,000, you're getting maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom bungalow that needs updating. Keep that in mind. Now, the average home value in 2015 was about $225,000. It has nearly doubled by 2025. Now, that appreciation stat right there is a big deal. Wesley Heights has been one of Charlotte's most steadily appreciating neighborhoods over the last decade. I say steadily because we have to take 2020 and 2021 into mind. Everything went up and made it look good. This has been very consistent, and the trajectory is still pointing upwards. So you're buying into a neighborhood that has already proven that it grows, and it still has room to go. Now, when we talk about the commute and transit, commute to Uptown is literally 5 minutes. It's right there. You could take a quick bus ride, you could ride your bike. It's really simple and easy. You also have Link's Blue Line access nearby. Now, this is great for people who don't want to take a car for their commute. Now, if you're going to end up going down into Ballantyne, you're looking at about a 30 to 40 minute commute via I-77. This depends on traffic, always depends on traffic, but it's not that bad. Now, here's what I love about Wesley Heights from a commuter standpoint. You are sandwiched between I-77, I-85, and 277, all right there. So you have options, whether you're driving uptown to catch the Blue Line or you're hopping onto the interstate. Wesley Heights is genuinely one of Charlotte's most connected neighborhoods from a driving standpoint, and you're getting it at a price that still makes sense. Okay, neighborhood 3 is Oakhurst, and I want you to pay attention here because this neighborhood, I kind of teased at the top of the video. We're going to get a full reveal at the end, but just know Oakhurst is doing something special right now. Oakhurst is on the east side of the Charlotte neighborhoods, right off of Monroe Road and about 5 minutes from Uptown. It's got a rare combo of original character and new energy. We've got classic ranch homes, we've got mid-century bungalows, all sitting next to brand new townhomes and modern infill. Now, we've also got local breweries that have moved in, and younger families are starting to discover it. It still has a lot of runway left and a lot of growth. Now, if you know of Cotswold, which is pretty popular, Oakhurst is just south of that. So it had benefits from the Cotswold adjacent infrastructure, shopping, restaurants, parks, but it doesn't have that Cotswold price tag. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, we look at the real estate, the approximate sales price average there is about $489,000. Now, older bungalows and ranches, they could go from $300 to $500, but the new construction, those modern builds, those are $700 to $1 million. Now, if you're looking for a townhome, you might be in the $450 to $600 range, which is very reasonable for a lot of people's budgets in that area. Now, distance from Uptown, you're 5 miles. So you're about 10 to 20 minutes depending upon traffic. Now, the price range is remarkable when you compare that to what you pay in Dilworth or South Park, the same square footage. But the appreciation story is a big deal here, and there's a lot underway. This is very much a neighborhood that is in motion. Now, the schools in Oakhurst, they also offer STEM Academy. That means you have other options. Here's where Oakhurst gets really interesting for families. The Oakhurst STEM Academy, this is a partial magnet school sitting right in the neighborhood, focused on science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And it's at an elementary level. Now, this scores about a B+ on the school rankings and outperforms expectations for student proficiency. Now, as a partial magnet, some seats are lottery, some are zoned. So if you buy a home in Oakhurst, you've got a built-in advantage into that lottery process. Now, this STEM Academy has a 62% student proficiency versus the 44% that was projected. That's a pretty big difference. Another big piece here is the light rail story. Now, for the cherry on top, the Lynx Silver Line light rail expansion is planned to run right along Independence Boulevard, with not one, but 2 stops planned within Oakhurst. Now, that's not coming until the 2030s, which is right around the corner if we're going to be honest. But if history tells us anything about what the light rail does to the Charlotte real estate prices, buying in the path of transit before it arrives is a very smart move. And this could be your chance. Now, commutes to Ballantyne, if you're working down there, is 30 to 35 minutes via I-485. So it's still a reasonable commute if you're going to be working in that area. Next up is Starmount. Starmount is a South Charlotte community situated right along South Boulevard corridor, which means you've got really easy access to the Lynx Blue Line light rail, and you're minutes from South Park Mall and that South Park energy. Now, the homes here are predominantly mid-century, built in the 1960s to 70s, with beautiful tree-lined streets, well-maintained yards, and I will say a pretty strong neighborhood identity. What's happening right now is that investors and buyers have started figuring out that the value is here. Older homes are being flipped, values are going up, and people who got in a few years ago are already starting to see strong appreciation. Now, in my opinion, you can get a nice home in Starmount at a first-time home buyer's budget, and the neighborhood has done really well appreciation-wise. That's exactly the kind of neighborhood intel that you want when relocating, because this could be the perfect spot that you've been looking for. Now, we're talking about real estate. The median list price is approximately $414,000. The median sales price over the last 12 months is about $475,000. Homes are mid-century ranches, modified bungalows from the 1960s and 70s, but there is a lot of active investor activity. There's a lot of flipped homes that are selling pretty quickly, and if you have one that is done from top to bottom, you can be sure there might be multiple offers. Now, for first-time home buyers or buyers who want to move and ready home at a realistic price point without sacrificing location, Starmount is a serious option. And the fact that prices are still low to the mid 400s while the neighborhood continues to appreciate, that window is not going to be open forever. Now, from a commute standpoint, you're about 20 minutes to Uptown, maybe 30, depending on traffic or which road you take. But if you're commuting to Ballantyne, it could be 20 to 25 minutes. This is one of the shortest commutes to Ballantyne on this list. If you work in Ballantyne or anywhere along South Boulevard corridor, Starmount is probably one of the most convenient neighborhoods on today's list. You're positioned right in the middle of Charlotte's major employment spine. That's right, I-77, right there. Now, moving into South Charlotte now, this is where things get really interesting. Sardis Woods. This is a neighborhood that people who have lived in Charlotte for 20 years know and love, but most newcomers almost never discover on their own. It's tucked into that southeast corridor off of Sardis Road, about 10 miles from Uptown, and it has that kind of established, calm, suburban energy that genuinely is hard to find at that price point. The neighborhood was predominantly built back in the 1970s and early 80s, and what that means is that you get mature trees everywhere. We're talking full canopy that shades the entire streets in summertime. Reminds me of when I was a kid. Lots are generous. They're usually a quarter acre or more, some as big as an acre, and the homes have space between them, which means you're not high-fiving your neighbor. It doesn't feel crowded, and the streets are wide, walkable, and pretty quiet. You don't realize you're that close to the city. From a real estate standpoint, the median home price is approximately $450 to $470, so right in range with Charlotte averages. Now, if we're looking at lowest to highest, you can find homes at $400,000, but you're also going to find larger properties at $2 million. The home styles in this area, they are ranches, colonial, revival, split levels, a lot of split levels, and newer traditional. As I mentioned before, the lot sizes are a lot larger than most comparable neighborhoods. We're talking quarter acre to sometimes an acre. And this is a key selling point for a lot of people that want a little bit of space. Now, these days, the average days on market are pretty high, and yet this particular area, it has still stayed at about 29 days, which is low, by the way. From a school standpoint, Sardis Woods falls into a strong Mecklenburg County school zone. East Mecklenburg High School, which offers both an international baccalaureate program and full advanced placement curriculum. That all services this area. Now, for private school families, Charlotte Christian and Fletcher School, both highly rated in the state and country, are both nearby and consistently highly rated. Now, from a commute and safety perspective, you are about 10 miles from Uptown, so pretty close. So your commute to Uptown is approximately 20 minutes to 25. Your commute to Ballantyne, also 25 to 30. So both really quite close to your commute areas that you might be working. One thing that also stands out, the crime rating in this area is a 3 of 10, which means it's actually safer than the average city in the United States. That crime score is something that families pay attention to, and really everybody pays attention to. And Sardis Woods consistently comes in well above the national average on safety metrics. So if peace of mind matters to you, and it should, and this neighborhood definitely delivers. Now, right next door to Sardis Woods, but with a distinctly different feel, is Sardis Forest. And this is the one I recommend families who are serious about schools. Sardis Forest is just east of Matthews. Technically, it's still in Charlotte. It does have a slightly more elevated, slightly more established vibe that comes from bigger lots, more mature landscaping, and the homes were built to last. I love older homes like this. Now, we're still talking about the southeast of Charlotte, so still about 10 miles from Uptown, but Sardis Forest trades a bit of the price efficiency that you'd find in Sardis Woods for more square footage, larger yards, and some genuinely impressive school assignments. So let's first talk real estate. The median sales price is approximately $630K, up 9% year over year. This is a great spot for equity. Now, the price range is, you could find something for $300 for a small home, but you could also find a $4 million estate level property in this neighborhood. Now, the home styles are very similar than the last neighborhood. Ranch, split levels, you've got your colonial revivals, townhomes, you name it. And the lots, again, they're mature and have beautiful landscaping. Now, the average days on market in this neighborhood still sits at about 33 days. Again, one of the lowest in the Charlotte area. Now, most families are landing somewhere in the middle, right? They're in that $500,000 to $800,000 range for a solid single family home with great square footage and a real yard. So for the schools, this is the story. Here's why Sardis Forest gets a dedicated spot on this list. Elizabeth Lane Elementary School is consistently one of the top ranked elementary schools in the entire Mecklenburg system, Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. Providence High School, which serves the area, is one of the most sought after public high schools in the city and in the state. The Fletcher School, a private K-12 institution that actually sits within the neighborhood. It's right there. Offers dual enrollment classes at Central Piedmont Community College for high schoolers. These are elite academic options, and all are available in this neighborhood. The McAlpine Creek Park is 114 acres with soccer fields, dog parks, trails. You've also got the James Boyce Park, which has playgrounds, softball fields, walking paths. And on top of that, your commute to Uptown is about 20 to 30 minutes, while your commute to Ballantyne is approximately 25 to 30. Both are very reasonable. Neighborhood 7 is Stonehaven, another Southeast Charlotte community that doesn't get the press it deserves. Stonehaven is a well-established, quiet, family-oriented neighborhood, and it sits off of Monroe Road. Now, if you value calm, predictable suburban life with a solid home value, with neighbors who really invest in their homes and their community, this neighborhood is worth knowing. This is not a neighborhood that's in transition. It is a neighborhood that has already arrived. It's very well established. The homes are maintained, the streets are stable, the community has been there a very long time, so it has a real identity, roots, and its own little culture. Now, when we're talking real estate, the median home price is approximately $645,000 to $650,000. Pretty close range. Home sizes, 1,200 to 4,000 square feet with the median around 2,200. Now, when we talk about the price range though, that's where it gets different. 340,000 on the low end to 1.5 million on the high end, with an average days on market of 7 days. This is one of the fastest moving neighborhoods on this list. That 7-day average is worth paying attention to. Stonehaven homes move quick. So if you find something here that you love, you need to be ready to act because others are watching this neighborhood too. Some interesting facts about this area: about 33% of Stonehaven residents actually work from home. 50% are commuters. They spend about 15 to 30 minutes going to work one way. So it's a really easy to access area. If you're commuting to Uptown, you should probably be prepared for about a 20 to 30 minute commute. And if you're commuting down to Ballantyne, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. So excellent for Ballantyne employees. Stonehaven is definitely car dependent. CATS does have bus stops. CATS, by the way, is the Charlotte bus system. It does have bus stops on Monroe Road, but you'll have to get a vehicle to get there. For most families, this is completely fine. They're not asking for the link system or anything of that nature, but they're asking for a great neighborhood with good access to work, and Stonehaven delivers. Now, our final neighborhood today is Sherwood Forest. And yes, the name absolutely fits. Sherwood Forest is tucked between Cotswold and Oakhurst, which we talked about earlier, in southeast Charlotte. Now, it feels like a neighborhood that was carved out of an actual forest. The streets are wide, the oaks are enormous, and the yards are generous. And the neighborhood itself feels like a retreat from the city, even though you're literally right there and close to everything. So this is a premium pick on today's list. If you've been searching in the Cotswold area, in the South Park area, but you feel like prices are out of reach, Sherwood Forest is the conversation you haven't had yet. You get that same education, higher income levels, well-maintained suburban community, but without the full Cotswold price premium and with significantly more privacy and character. Now, from a real estate standpoint, the median home price is about $845 to $875. What I want to point out is this is up 12 to 17% year over year. This is a great place of investment. Year over year, meaning 2025. Now, the price range across the board, across the spectrum, the real estate style homes are into the millions. Average household income is about $150,000, which is above the national average, and about 64% of the residents are college graduates. Now, this is an affluent neighborhood. There's no question about it. But it's also a neighborhood where you are genuinely buying something you cannot find anywhere else at this price point. From a commute standpoint, you are 7 miles from Uptown. So that means that's about a 15-minute drive. You're usually going to go up Providence Road, really, really easy to get in. Now, if you're working in Ballantyne, you've got a commute of about 20 to 25 minutes. So this is excellent for people who are working in Uptown or working in South Charlotte. Providence Road and Independence Boulevard are your main arteries out of Sherwood Forest. They give you excellent access to both Uptown and to Ballantyne corridors. So if you're an executive commuting to Ballantyne area offices, this neighborhood makes a lot of sense logistically. Okay, I promised to you at the very beginning of this video that I would reveal one specific Charlotte neighborhood. 5 miles from Uptown, under $500,000 with top-notch schools on the doorstep and the light rail coming to the area. That neighborhood is Oakhurst. It's just 5 miles from the center of Uptown Charlotte. Median sales prices right around $489,000. The Oakhurst STEM Academy sits right in the neighborhood, magnet school that consistently beats projected proficiency scores, and the linked Silver Line planning 2 stops within the neighborhood that opens in the 2030s, which is crazy to even say out loud. So here's what makes Oakhurst the most compelling buy on this entire list right now. You're getting it before the light rail hype actually fully hits. Every single time Charlotte has added a new light rail station, property values around have skyrocketed significantly. Oakhurst buyers today are in the same position that South End buyers were in 15 years ago. Now, is that guaranteed? No, but real estate never is. What you can do is look at the trajectory. The bones are there, the schools are there, the price still makes sense, and that combination does not last forever in this market. Okay, so that's 8 of Charlotte's most underrated, under-talked about neighborhoods, and I promise you, if you're relocating to Charlotte, these are streets worth driving. The difference between finding the right neighborhood and spending 2 more years searching is usually just having the right conversation with someone who actually knows the city. I'm a local. I live here and I help people move here every single week. And I would love to help you figure out which one of these neighborhoods is the right fit for your life. To link to schedule a call with me, it's right here in the description below. It's completely free. I'll walk through your timeline, your budget, your must-haves, and we'll personally help you map out your Charlotte search. No pressure, just real guidance from someone who genuinely loves this city. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. It helps this channel reach more people trying to figure out Charlotte. So drop a comment below. Tell me which of these 8 neighborhoods surprised you most. I read every single comment. As I mentioned before, I'm Kayla Lindsay, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. And I do get calls, texts, and emails every single day. Whether you're moving 9 days or 90 days, we're here to help your move be exactly what you want it to be. Till next time, I look forward to showing you around town. So you're making the move. move, there's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're gonna help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They look really good.